Intel stock is back under $20, which also means that price to book, this is back under 1. In other words, this means that the market is now valuing this company as if it will go out of business. Now I know, some folks might just look at the stock's performance this year and say, oh, it's down 60%. Yeah, maybe it is going out of business. I mean, not just year to date. If you look at the last 5 years, this stock is also down 61%. Now it has a market cap of $84.19 billion. AMD basically more than double that. Now, as you know, or may not know, but I personally own Intel shares. I've made a prediction on X this week. I said that Intel will outperform in 2025. Whether or not I will be correct remains to be seen 12 months from now. But I think that in 2025, I mean, first of all, the bar has been set extremely low. Let's just start with that. So risk reward wise, in my eyes, it makes sense. In a lot of other people's eyes, they think Intel can go to $15, to $10. Realistically speaking, I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening because, well, Intel's assets are worth more than that. So, okay, never mind. Risk reward to me makes sense. 2025, yes, we're still waiting for the announcement of the new CEO. Whoever that's going to be remains to be seen. I really hope that it's not going to be some MBA guy, but actually an industry giant, someone that actually understands the industry and not like the, well, previous CEOs before Pat, because although some said that they understood the industry, they completely missed the boat on a lot of things. Anyways, 2025, we've got 18A. We've got new products coming out and actually supposed to be leadership products for Intel. We might have some more positive news with regards to Foundry. We also have a big refresh cycle that's going to happen in the back half of 2025 because Windows 10 is coming to the end. We've got Windows 12 happening. And then with AI PCs, it's really up to debate, right? If it's really picking up, if not, I mean, right now it's been slow. Let's be honest, why would you even buy one, right? What's the added value to it? Maybe 2025, more announcements will be made. And so, okay, it makes sense to upgrade. It makes sense to buy this laptop because it's an AI laptop, because it saves me money, time, I'm more productive, etc., etc. So, okay, that might also be a tailwind. Plus, again, the bar has been set extremely low for Intel. So 2025, with all the restructurings and all of that already behind us, I think it should be a much, let's say, easier year for them. Of course, execution is still key because at the end of the day, and this is what MJ has said, the new, let's say, co-CEO, but CEO of Intel products or the leader of Intel products. It's at the end of the day, the most important thing here is for Intel to make products that the customers want, right? Listen to the customer and make the best product that you can. In the last couple of years, Intel thought that they would be making the best products, but they didn't really listen to what people wanted. So you've had mistake after mistake after mistake. Now, of course, previously Intel was huge, AMD a bit smaller. Still, there is quite a big difference between the two revenue-wise and all of that. But now the time has come where Intel has no choice. You either listen to the customers, you make the best products, or eventually you will completely die off. Now, for those that think, oh, they should just split the business, right? Intel Foundry and Intel products, maybe that will happen in the future. Although because they got money from the government, they still, I think, have to own between 31 and 49% of the business, something like that. So remains to be seen what will happen with Intel Foundry in the future. But let's discuss the good news in this video. Let's discuss again why I still hold my bag. Yes, my bag is hurting a little bit. Why I still think that Intel for me makes sense. So if you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if not, really appreciate that. If you want to support me even further, do check out the link down in the description and in the pinned comment with the top 10 best stocks to buy now, or go to fool.com/couchinvestor. Thank you very much. I'll first start with the average analyst price target, which still sits 24.6% higher than the price we're at today. Majority of the analysts have a hold rating. Out of 46 analysts, 36 have a hold rating, 4 with a buy, 2 with a sell, and 4 with a strong sell. And what's interesting here is that the lowest price target right now sits at $20, so we're even below that. Then looking at some pricing metrics, forward PE, EV to EBITDA, price to sales, price to free cash flow. Well, there's no free cash flow, so that doesn't make any difference here. And then price earnings to growth sits at 1.11. PE, yeah, it is quite high for a company like Intel where the E is non-existent. Although if you removed all the restructuring and all the one-time charges, there might have been a small E last quarter. But all in all, yeah, Intel was definitely much cheaper before. That's what happens when you invest a ton in the business, when you have lots of layoffs, lots of restructurings and all of that. It costs you quite a lot of money. And then when you're ramping up products and it doesn't sell, it's not successful, all of that cost, well, is behind you, and yet you're still waiting for revenue and profits, and so you get hit. Which is, of course, what we've seen last quarter, right? With all the restructuring and all the one-time charges and all of that, huge miss on margins, right? Margins came in at 17.3% compared to the expected 38%. But gross margin was actually closer to 41% if you exclude the charges. EPS would have been 16 cent gain excluding the charges. The expected number was a 3-cent loss. Then if you look at guidance was actually a beat across the board. So despite all the noise, don't forget that guidance was actually a beat across the board. Now, if you look at what the analysts are expecting this company to do in the coming years, revenue growth for fiscal 25, 6.2%, then 7.4% in fiscal 2026, with free cash flow still being very negative. Now, the good news is coming from an unexpected corner, and that's the GPU side of things for Intel. Intel is known for CPUs, well, the one that has been making positive noise, or I don't know if you can even say that positive noise, some good noise for Intel is the GPU side of things. We did talk a little bit about that in the previous video, but now that people are getting their hands on the product, we've got more reviews, and a lot of reviews are quite positive. So Intel says demand for Arc B580 graphic cards is high, but the GPU should be restocked every week. If you're basically looking for one of those GPUs online, most of them, if not all, are sold out. But not to worry, because Intel's Mark Anthony Ramirez said that they expect weekly inventory replenishments of the Intel Arc B580 limited edition graphics card and are working with partners to ensure a steady availability of choices in the market. And so if you follow these types of things on YouTube, on social media, you probably know the faces or the names here on the screen. A lot of them, if not all of them right now on the screen, had positive things to say about the B580. And of course, if you're a gamer and you were stuck with AMD or Nvidia's extremely high prices, this, of course, seeing here one at $249 is, well, a very welcome end of the year gift. Intel themselves compared their graphics card to the RTX 4060. They did run some internal tests. Of course, internal tests are most of the time quite biased. They say here it's 10 times faster on average than NVIDIA's RTX 4060. They also said that this is the best-in-class performance per dollar compared to the RTX 4060 and AMD's 7600. And so who knows, maybe that might surprise the street next time they report earnings. This is usually a strong quarter for all of the players in that market, but who knows, maybe thanks to that GPU launch, revenue will be even higher than expected. Maybe guidance will be even better than expected as well, because yeah, previously Intel was not known for GPUs, and now if they actually can come out with solid products each and every iteration, I mean, that could be a very interesting situation, especially for AMD, because yeah, we know Nvidia is in a league of their own. But then if you look at the number 2 player, which is still quite far from Nvidia, it's AMD. Yes, higher priced product as well. But if suddenly Intel comes in and starts producing quite good products when it comes to GPUs, then the battle becomes quite interesting and highly competitive, which of course is great for us, the consumer. But all in all, for Intel next quarter and guidance, maybe that part might help them. Now, since we are comparing Intel and AMD a lot, of course, a small reminder here, revenue-wise, Intel still is much larger than AMD. Actually, revenue-wise, it's more than double. But from a margins perspective, of course, AMD is coming up, and Intel, well, Intel has been completely destroyed when it comes to the margin profile here. But then if we look at data center and AI, AMD actually surpassed Intel for the first time in Q3, $3.54 billion in revenue compared to Intel's $3.34 billion. That has definitely been a struggle for AMD and a solid success for AMD more recently. But then if we switch back to the client side of things, well, here as well, you can see the huge difference between Intel and AMD. That's why I keep saying, don't doubt Intel. Intel is still a huge player despite the horrible stock's performance. I mean, just look at the difference in revenue for clients. $7.33 billion for Intel compared to just $1.88 billion for AMD. Of course, the majority of the profits are coming from the data center AI revenue, especially for AMD. But as a player, again, answering the question at the start of this video, does it make sense for Intel to trade at prices that indicate that this company is going out of business? No, it does not. And so last couple of things here for Q4, they expect revenue to come between $13.3 and $14.3 billion, down $1.6 billion year over year. Gross margin 39.5%, down 9.3 percentage points year over year. And EPS 12 cents, down 42 cents year over year. And I believe this is on a non-GAAP basis. And by the way, if you're still chasing the quantum computing things, well, just so you know, Intel is also in that game. But of course, it's Intel, so nobody really wants to talk about that. But yeah, Intel is in the quantum computing space, just like Google, just like IBM, and just like plenty of other huge players. And so the last thing here, if we look at the stock, Intel did finish the week with a nice green candle on Friday. RSI was quite low. On Thursday, did not go into oversold territory. Then if we look at the weekly, still very ugly, right? There is definitely no positive momentum on the weekly here. It's been 4 red candles in a row. But like I said, risk reward, in my opinion, it favors the reward. Of course, we are still waiting to see who the next CEO for Intel is going to be. I really hope it's a big name from the industry, whether it's someone from Marvell, maybe it's someone from Apple, ex-Apple, remains to be seen. But yeah, I think Intel 2025, that's just my prediction, they will outperform. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. And if you have ordered a B580, let me know and share your opinion down in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, do all of that, and I see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.